I know, right? Oh my gosh. Great, perfect. Sounds good. Who's been? Are you gonna hold? You're gonna hold Amber's leash then while she's spinning or? Oh, okay. Okay, yes. Good evening. Yeah. Yes. Yeah, that's what
Yeah.
As I do myself. Thank you.
All right, the time is 7 p.m. We'll call this meeting to order. Would everyone please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America. To the republic and under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Madam Clerk, can we have a roll call, please?
Mayor Pileski,
Here.
trustee Delapenna. Trustee Domke,
Here.
trustee Forsythe. Here. Trustee Lanisa. Here. Trustee Pierkowski.
Here.
Trustee Trejo.
Here. We have a quorum. We'll move on to presentation of the prepared agenda. Is there a motion to approve the agenda? Moved.
Second.
Thank you so much. Trustee Trejo made that motion. Trustee Domke seconded that. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, nay. Any abstentions? Seeing none, that motion carries. We'll then move on to village board public comment. Anyone wishing to provide a comment on a topic or an agenda item may address the village board during the public comment and public hearing segments of the village board agenda by submitting comments in advance using the online form or during the meeting. Madam Clerk, do we have any comments submitted in advance?
We do. This comment comes from Christine Conchola Guzman. I was recently informed that Roselle still has an ordinance prohibiting backyard hens, but allows pigeon keeping. I am requesting a change in the ordinance against owning backyard chickens to adopting a new ordinance that allows citizens to have a small backyard flock. I would assume most people would not be privy to allowing roosters. However, I recently became interested in the concept of backyard chickens through community programs in other towns and park districts, and was informed that the village of Roselle only allows chickens in unincorporated areas, not incorporated. Other towns in the area have begun to adopt permits allowing chickens. Several friends have chickens in these towns, and they verify that they love them and have freedom to do so. Many people are interested in keeping them. Kids are learning to care for them in schools and farm programs at park districts. Therapists are successfully using chickens for therapy programs. There are a number of reasons chickens are beneficial for residents, whether for eggs, grass, fertilizer, compost, additive, or as a companion pet. Contrary to popular belief, hens are not more of a nuisance than a neighbor's cat or dog. They do not attract rodents or predators any more than any other animal or pet kept on the property. And they do not create odor any more than a dog or cat that's not kept cleaned up after. When chickens are properly cared for, as for any animal or person, odors and pests are not a problem. Please consider this request. I can provide more information if more is needed. Thank you.
Thank you so much. The board has directed the Planning and Zoning Commission to evaluate this topic. I know currently our intern for the year is currently working on doing some research, and that should be on a upcoming agenda for discussion from that group. Is there any members of the public here today that wish to address the board? Yes, if you would mind coming out to the podium and just stating your name for the record.
Julia Kamish, Kamysc.
Maya Kurlikowski. Hi, we're both Lake Park seniors this year, and we've been part of the Earth Club for 4 years and quite diligent members. And last summer we both worked at Juicenberry on Main Street, and we saw the recycling program that is going on in Main Street, and that it's none. It just kind of like pained us to like throw away all that cardboard when we worked there, and then inspired us to take on like a bigger um maybe start like a program on Main Street for recycling to get some bins out there, because we went and looked around the street and through all the businesses, and there is room for like a big recycling bin. And
We are also part of Green Roselle. So on Main Street, we went to Roselle Flowers, Italian Pizza Kitchen. We went back to Juicenberry. Where else did we go? We went to all the businesses on Main Street. And through Green Roselle, we had a survey, and we had a general consensus from the majority of businesses that they'd be in favor of instated some kind of recycling bin on Main Street, just because there's so much waste and it can be prevented and recycled.
yeah, so that's just our goal. And we'd seen to have a lot of support from it from our survey that we did, and we talked with a lot of the business owners over there, and they would also be in support of it. But the issue is that they're not in support of necessarily paying for it. And we couldn't really find too much information on how much it would cost. Like we tried to call Flood Brothers to see, but we didn't get any response from that. But continuing from the Greenest Region Compact that Roselle has adopted, we just had like some where it states in there in WR9C to establish and strive for commercial institutional recycling goal. WR16 require commercial and multifamily recycling, and WR20 ban or discourage the use of products resulting in unmanageable waste like plastic bags. And bearing in mind those amendments in the Green Roselle Compact, we were just wondering what the board could have to help fund this, to encourage this, or mandate this commercial recycling on Main Street.
Well, thank you so much for your comments today and for coming out. We really appreciate our active students in the community. And so that takes a lot of nerve and courage to come here. So thank you so much. I think on the commercial side, one thing that had came up as a question that I'm aware of is a lot of our mixed use buildings like Juicenberry is located in, a lot of our Main Street, we don't require commercial recycling currently through our contract. We do require residential only buildings to have recycling and trash. So that's one thing that I know I've flagged with staff. We are currently under contract with Flood Brothers. That contract will be up for renewal in a couple of years. And so we're trying to evaluate and understand how we could actually impose and kind of require all buildings to have recycling. So in that case, the commercial recycling has a place to go. As far as residential recycling, for people kind of, they get their order and they walk around. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe some of the pedal porch promenade and plaza improvements, part of that included having multi type refuse disposals, which have trash recycling and animal waste. So I believe that's something that will be introduced as we move forward with that project. Now, that's just along Prospect Street. That's not the full length, but that's kind of a template that we can apply to use for other areas. So I think there's hopefully something that we can start to roll out as a program, see its success and see people's usage of it. And I know the board will definitely take that under consideration for future policy decisions. So thank you. Are there any other members of the public here today that wish to address the board? Seeing none, then we'll move on to officials and staff reports. Today, we have the honor and privilege of swearing in our new fire dog, Ember. So I'd like to invite the fire chief up to kind of explain and give a couple of words before we go to the swearing in.
Everyone comes to us out of Virginia. Reader out there that several of the Mexico. We were fortunate this number under the genetic process and the team. Unique is number evidence brain for hold tracking, so somebody wants to play. Something needs to be, maybe want to school, or we have not been possibility. We can take that and track the, sorry, Mayor. We can track the person with the scent of their clothing. Ember's also being trained for disaster search and rescue with the natural disasters that can occur within the state, being tornadoes, actually southern earthquakes and other natural disasters. Ember is being trained to work within those disaster sites to be able to locate the live victims and to expedite their removal by giving them a precise location to dig and to rescue those potential victims. Ember will be a member of two groups, the Search and Rescue Strike Team, which is a local team that allows us to respond to local instances in a timely fashion. And will also be a member of the Illinois Urban Search and Rescue Team, which is the elite rescue team of the state of Illinois. For us, we're very fortunate. Ember is only going to be one of two fire department canine dogs that are located in DuPage County, with the other one being located in West Chicago, which is important to us because with our responsibilities and our membership to the West Suburban Fire Rescue Alliance, which is a membership of 6 departments, it allows these two dogs to be able to come together and start search and rescue activities right away. So it's a benefit to our residents within the village of Roselle, in addition to all the residents within DuPage County. So very proud of the agreement we're able to come up with, and I couldn't have done it without the support of the village staff, the village board, local 4051, the firefighters union, and the work of Jen and Ember themselves. So it's a great effort. And the end result is that Roselle has their own search and rescue. So without further ado, I will invite Ember and Ember's handler up to receive their oath of office.
All right. This is a first for me. And since Ember, from what I understand, we don't speak the same language. So you can just stay put. And at the end, you can affirm the oath of office. So I, Ember, with the assistance of my handler, Jen Rettel, having been appointed to the position of Search and Rescue Canine in the Village of Roselle in the counties of DuPage and Cook, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Illinois, and I will faithfully discharge the duties of Search and Rescue Canine according to the best of my abilities. And you are a good girl, so.
That was the affirmation right there.
You know, as the chief said, we made this decision, looking at the community profile and what made sense for our department, but also in our area. I think we have an asset that we're very fortunate. We make investments in all of our public safety units that make sense to help us protect our community, but also our broader area. Because we know that when issues arise, it doesn't just stay in Roselle. There's boundaries that are permeable. And so this is a great way for us not only to make sure Roselle is served well, but that our neighbors are also served well in a unique way. And so Jen, I know this is a lot of testament to your work, your effort, and your passion. So I want to give you an opportunity to just kind of talk a little bit about the program, what it means to you.
Yes, of course.
And if you mind in the microphone.
Oh, of course.
For the people at home.
Well, I'm little, so I want to say thank you to everyone, specifically the department. It started there. So everyone was willing to take on the task of dealing with her, whether she was barking, running around the station. Before I even got her, everyone was super supportive at home. Chief allowed me to make sure this is something that I was willing to commit to, which was a lot of hours, a lot of time. And as the crazy dog lady of our department, there was no questions. Once I started, I knew that this is something I wanted to do. It's always been a dream. So I want to thank my chief from the beginning, my entire family, the village board, everyone. You have seriously helped me make a lifelong dream come true. So I'm hoping that on our journey, we can kind of keep kicking butt, get some certifications and show everyone the value that she's going to bring to our town. And that's kind of it. Oh. Oh.
It's a lot of. Thanks.
Congrats.
So much.
No, well, I did just have them in my hands a little while ago. so.
So much.
Aw.
She's like, I want it.
And I'm gonna assume Ember will be at the public safety open house coming up soon, correct? So good plug in for that event. We're bringing that event back since our COVID days being on hiatus. So please make sure that you can come out to see not only Ember, but all the great new things we've implemented in our public safety departments, such as drones for police and other resources that are available coming up here on September 17th. So the other event that's coming up as well. So our Rose Ambassador, Julia Persek, is hosting fittingly a dog talent and fashion show contest to raise money for the DuPage County Animal Shelter. That will be Sunday, September 10th at the Miracle Field. So you can register online to show your own pet off in that from the Park District website, or you can come out to enjoy it and help raise money for a good cause from that side of things. With that being the case, that's all that I have under my report tonight. Are there any trustees that have a report? Wayne.
I might not want to mention this, but I have to, I don't know if anybody knows who Ethel Shallow is, but she is a woman that's 102 years old. She was born and raised in Roselle. So she's been a resident of Roselle for 102 years. And I was just told by her daughter that she has a terminal illness and may not survive much longer. So I just want you to all know while she's still alive that Ethel Shallow, who had a farm where Klaus Rec Center is and has lived her entire life here in Roselle. She's been the Bachfest queen for the last 2 years. And she's not probably going to make it. But while she's alive, I wanted to give her this kind of notoriety that you know who she was.
Thank you. Are there any other trustee reports tonight? Seeing none, village clerk, village attorney.
On behalf of Michael Castaldo, I don't know what he has or hasn't told you. So I just have a couple of ideas. Before January 1, the village really needs to look at its paid leave policies. I'm sure Jason knows all about it, but the Paid Leave for All Workers Act provides 40 hours for all employees. And they do not have to give a reason for use of that time. Looking at your current vacation and personal leave, you probably have that amount of time already in your policies for employees. Within 90 days, so they have to start being able to take it. The bigger issue is your part-time employees, and they can accrue up to, 1 hour, up to 40 hours, 1 hour for every 40 hours that they work. So if you've got summer employees, after 90 days, which is going to be right at the end, they might have a day of paid leave, maybe 2. So that's going to be something different for you to deal with. Recently, the governor signed a Public Safety Employee Benefit Act amendment that will allow, as of January 1, all beneficiaries to select any one of your health insurance policies, and you have to pay 100% of it. That's not how things have been happening around the state, but the Associated Firefighters have gotten that amended. There is a question of whether that will apply backwards to people that are currently receiving the benefit or receive it before January 1. The statute does not say that it is applicable back. And typically, statutory construction is, if it doesn't say so, it's prospective only. It's just not worded as well as it could be to be definitive. It will then probably be a policy decision here and potentially a collective bargaining issue with respect to whether any current beneficiaries would be able to pick and choose among the plans. And then finally, during the veto session, there's probably going to be a consideration of some open meeting act changes. IML and other organizations are in support of having more remote attendance options than what we currently have. So that's something to keep an eye on, and if you're in favor of it, support it. If not, don't support it, but that's a policy decision for you as a village. That's all I have.
We have to leave the door open legally though, unfortunately,
don't.
so. Oh,
You just have to have it unlocked.
oh, I see. Any questions for the attorney? All right, see none, village administrator.
No report.
All right, treasurer's report.
I have no dogs or chickens, but
Roosters. You have something much more important though.
yes, much more important. So in your packet tonight is the July treasurer's report. I just have a few comments to make and then I'll ask if there are any questions, but as we just did the mid-year budget a few weeks ago. Revenues are 62% of budget for the general fund, that is, and expenditures are at 54%. So that means revenues over expenditures for the year so far are $1,679,223. The top six revenues, which are in your budget, top six are property tax, sales tax, income tax, ambulance billing, local use tax, and vehicle stickers are all above budget through the month of July so far. And then our revenue of the month is income tax. And although it was 4.5% lower than last year, it was still the highest amount, highest dollar amount that we received in the general fund in the month of July. So I just wanted to highlight that. Other than that, it's the typical treasurer's report, including the capital projects fund. I've been doing that now for the last couple months, and I'd be happy to answer any questions that anyone might have. Any questions?
Any questions from the board? Seeing none, thank you so much. Appreciate it. We'll now move on to the consent agenda. All items on the consent agenda are considered to be routine, procedural, informational, self-explanatory, and non-controversial in nature and will be enacted in one motion. There will be no discussion of these items. Tonight, we have presentation approval of the village board minutes of July 24th, 2023. Adopt a resolution approving and authorizing the execution of a side letter by and between the Village of Roselle and the International Association of Firefighters Local 4051. Adopt a resolution authorizing the execution of contract by and between the Village of Roselle and Northern AV Group for the 2023 PCC Sidewalk Trip Hazard Removal Program not to exceed $50,000. Adopt a resolution approving and authorizing the execution of agreement by and between the Village of Roselle and Monroe Truck Equipment through the Joint Purchasing Cooperative Sourcewell. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Again,
Thank you. Motion was by trustee Trejo, second was by trustee Domke. Madam Clerk, we have a roll call.
Trustee Trejo,
Aye.
trustee Domke,
aye.
trustee Forsythe. Aye. Trustee Lanisa. Aye. Trustee Pierkowski.
That motion carries. We'll now move on to community development, trustee Lanisa.
Yes, I'd like to make a motion, to ask for a motion to open the public hearing. Making a motion to open public hearing.
Or can you, for the,
Sorry, public hearing for the pre-annexation of 6 North 755 Spring Court in Roselle, Illinois.
thank you so much. Could we have a roll call, please?
Trustee Lanisa.
Aye.
Trustee Trejo,
Aye.
trustee Domke,
Aye.
trustee Forsythe. Aye. Pierkowski.
Aye.
That motion carries.
I'd like to state that the proper notice has been served in the Daily Herald on August 9th of 2023. And that the notice is on file with the village clerk.
Thank you so much. Oh, good, sir.
Is there any member of the public who wishes to speak in favor of the petition? Seeing none, is there any member of the public who wishes to speak against the petition? Seeing none, is there any member of the public who wishes to ask a question of the petitioner? Seeing none, are there any questions or comments from the board? I would like to make a motion to close the public hearing.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Trustee Lanisa.
Aye.
Trustee Trejo,
Aye.
Domke,
Aye.
trustee Forsythe.
Aye.
Pierkowski.
Aye.
That motion carries.
like to make a motion to pass an ordinance approving and authorizing the execution of the pre-annexation agreement for the property commonly referred to as 6 and 755 Spring Court in Roselle, Illinois.
Second. Thank you so much.
Trustee Lanisa.
Aye.
Trustee Trejo.
Aye.
Trustee Domke.
Aye.
Trustee Forsythe.
Aye.
Trustee Pierkowski.
Aye. That motion carries. Thank you so much. We'll now move on to administration. Trustee Forsythe.
Thank you, Mayor Pileski. I would like to move adoption of a resolution approving and authorizing the execution of a master services agreement and rider by and between the Village of Roselle and Social Solutions Global, Inc. for the purchase of police social worker software in the amount of $47,116.
Second.
Trustee Pierkowski, for diversity's sake, got the second. Is there any discussion amongst the board on this item or any questions? Seeing none, could we have a roll call, please?
Trustee Forsythe.
Aye.
Trustee Pierkowski.
Aye.
Trustee Domke.
Aye.
Trustee Lanisa.
Aye.
Trustee Trejo.
Aye. That motion carries.
And that is all for me.
Thank you. We have nothing under fire or police, public works. Trustee Pierkowski.
Thank you, Mayor Pileski. I'd like to move adoption of a resolution authorizing the execution of a contract by and between the Village of Roselle and Scanlon Excavating and Concrete Incorporated for the 2023 Storm Sewer Improvements Project not to exceed $235,997 and no cents.
Second. Is there any discussion on this item? Seeing none, could we have a roll call, please?
Trustee Pierkowski.
Aye.
Trustee Trejo.
Aye.
Trustee Domke.
Aye.
Trustee Forsythe.
Aye.
Trustee Lanisa.
Aye.
That motion carries.
Okay, moving on, I'd like to move adoption of a resolution approving and authorizing the mayor to execute change order number 1 for the Devlin Wastewater Treatment Plant Administration Building roof replacement between the Village of Roselle and Garland DBS Incorporated for the additional work in the amount of $5,150.00.
Second. Thank you, Trustee Trejo. Any discussion on this item? Seeing none, could we have a roll call, please?
Trustee Pierkowski.
Aye.
Trustee Trejo.
Aye.
Trustee Domke.
Aye.
Trustee Forsythe.
Aye.
Trustee Lanisa.
Aye.
That motion carries.
Okay, I'd like to move adoption of a resolution approving and authorizing the mayor to execute an agreement for the sanitary sewer force main assessment between the Village of Roselle and RJN Group in the amount of $224,800.00.
Second. Thank you, Trustee Trejo. Any discussion? Seeing none, could we have a roll call, please?
Trustee Pierkowski.
Aye.
Trustee Trejo.
Aye.
Trustee Domke.
Aye.
Trustee Forsythe.
Aye.
Trustee Lanisa.
Aye.
That motion carries.
And that is all I have, Mayor Pileski.
Thank you so much. In the absence of Trustee Del Penna, Trustee Trejo, do you mind doing finance tonight?
Sure. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. On behalf of the Finance Department, I'd like to make a motion to approve the accounts payable list for August 28th, 2023 in the amount of $1,892,652.52.
Second.
Thank you, Trustee Domke. Any discussion on the accounts payable list? Seeing none, could we have a roll call?
Trustee Trejo.
Aye.
Trustee Domke.
Aye.
Trustee Forsythe.
Aye.
Trustee Lanisa.
Aye.
Trustee Pierkowski.
Aye.
That motion carries. We'll now move on to new business. We'll have a presentation from Finance Director Dahl regarding our professional services agreement for auditing services.
Good evening again. So back in 2015, the village decided to adhere to the Government Finance Officers Association best practice to rotate auditors every 5 years. So back in 16, we did an RFP, contracted with Baker Tilly LLP. And then we extended it 2 years because of the pandemic. There was just a lot of things going on, obviously, but this year we went out for RFP. I contacted 9 firms to gauge their interest. There is a CPA shortage in the state, in the United States. So some begged off and said they were not doing audits, they were not taking on new clients, or they were being very selective. Of those 9, 4 said yes, they would, and then 3 responded to the proposal. One of those being Sickich. They tied when I did the evaluation. They tied with another firm, Crow. So it boiled down to price. And over the 5-year contract, it was a significant savings with Sikich. We did contract with Sikich back from 2000 to 2015. And we're very satisfied with their work. They're a very good firm. I've used them in other places and they have a stellar reputation. Crow does as well, but based on the prices, which is, an easy decision to make this recommendation. So Brian Lefevre is here, one of the partners. He'd be happy to answer any questions you may have. But I'm just asking to go forward with contracting with Sikich for our audits.
Any questions or comments from the board?
Sikich was very good in explaining when they did their audit to the board. Because I need a lot of help understanding that stuff, and they did a great job up to the year
Mhm.
2015.
Mhm.
So I'm really in favor of them coming on.
Thank you. Any further questions or comments? Is there consensus move forward as staff is directed? Great. I would just like to thank trustee Lanisa and trustee Delapenna for helping with the scoring process. And, I think we had a great relation with Baker Tilly, so I appreciate their services over the past couple of years, and we're looking forward to working again with Sikich as well. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right. We do have another opportunity for public comment. Is there anyone here tonight that wishes to address the board at this time? Seeing none, could I have a motion to convene executive session for the purpose to discuss personnel?
Moved.
There's a second.
Well, one of us is second.
All right, so trustee Trejo had made the motion, trustee Donkey had seconded. Could we have a roll call, please?
Trustee Trejo,
Aye.
trustee Domke,
Aye.
trustee Forsythe,
Aye.
trustee Lanisa,
Aye.
Yukowski.
Aye.
No final action will be taken, and we will be adjourning from the regular meeting immediately following the executive session. We'll not be returning to the dais.